Can you believe it, guys? Under construction, just a week away. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Under Construction. I'm your host, Ellis, otherwise known as the Admiral. I'm a little light on sleep. It's a little not Thursday, if you haven't noticed. And I don't even think the stream picked up the first, 30 seconds of what I was saying. I don't have any water, actually, and I have no one here to get it for me. So, I'll let the people pile in. Hello, KDS. I'll let the people pile in for a minute while I go grab myself some water, because I will not be able to go on without it. People that are in the chat, when new people show up and are like, "Where's Ellis?" Tell them where I am. Please. Alright. We got pineapple. We've got me. We've got under construction. And we've got electricity, which was not true about 20 minutes ago. Lost power was not great. But thankfully we got it back pretty quickly. I was worried I was going to have to not do this, or by some measures be able to not do this. No, I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to carry on with doing under construction today, that I would have to try and fit in like half an episode tomorrow, which I wasn't psyched about. I knew it would have been difficult at the very least. Ranging from difficult to impossible. I'm busy trying to figure out a station for the route I'm working on. You're building a model railroad, right? Good evening, Bender. I didn't say hi to Dean. Hi, Dean. Gloria's not here, so I'm allowed to say hi to you. Oh, whoops. This is like at a perfect... No, not at all. Can't it just a little bit back? A little bit? Just, no? No. Okay. What if I go the other way with it? It'll look better like this. The Miskatonic. I feel like I have heard that name before you started trying to work on it. Is it like a particularly famous model railroad? Should I know of it? Either way, this stream was almost canceled on behalf of me wanting to continue playing OpenTTD, which I can talk about at length tonight if anybody wants to hear about it, and the mods and the implications thereof, all that jazz. You can throw questions at me. I can talk about my experiences. It's been a hell of a thing. It's going to be very interesting when we get them in the server on Friday, because you mad lads voted for OpenTTD as the playdate again. Oh, it's Lovecraft? Oh, okay. Right, it's that one. Maybe I had heard of it. But maybe it's just still rattling around in my head from when you originally posted it. Because, yeah, that's fantastic. So, you know. Hope everyone's having a good time. I know TJ lost internet. People are losing power. The wind is serious. My coworker Belinda is on her way home to New Haven, and it uses the 1847 Salem station, but I can't find it anywhere. Well, yeah, I don't feel like you would be able to. It's not a very common one. Also, wait, 1847 that station was built in 1847? Or are you saying that it's a one before the stone one? Because either I could believe that. It's cold outside and there's like 6 inches of snow. Oh man, I'm so jealous. Oh, I'm so jealous. I wish all of this was snow. We would have had a crazy New England blizzard in, on December, or, no, it's not even December. On almost December 1st, which would have made me very happy. Does this mean it's Thursday? Only if you want it to be. I mean, it can be whatever day you want as long as you show up for work on time when you're supposed to. You can call this day, you can call this day King's Day, Train Day, call it Admiral's Day if you really wanna. But I won't hold you to that. Tired from last night, but it was fun. Is this the lead into a your mom joke? Because I could see it being one. Alright, let's do this. This has been known to travel through time. I'm not saying that well, I can't say that I don't. This edge here is gonna perplex me. We're gonna just do some dirt along the edge here. Actually, this dirt I need to take care of in the bushes on the other side, and then the darker dirt on the closer side, I think. So, yeah. Wish there was an auto spin textures button. That would be wonderfully handy. What tornado outbreak live? Wow. Was that the one in Tennessee? Or the one like Tennessee-ish, Tennessee area? Because Dean, weren't you posting about a tornado that was supposed to hit you? Turntable, like a small turntable, you said. All yours were too big. I don't really have a small one. I mean, there are some small ones, but they all have roundhouses attached. Alabama, okay. So the same vicinity. Yeah, it was probably the same storm. Well, be glad that you never got it, I guess. Nobody wants to be sucked off when they don't ask for it. Alright, let's, I got a little overzealous with the dirt there. Big storm yesterday. I'm getting a big storm today. It was a nice day yesterday. I slept through most of it, but it was a nice day by all accounts. I was up at 4 a.m. doing MBTA train counts, which is why we're doing... Oh, nobody's even asked. 3+ years overdue for one. I don't think that's how that works, but I get what you're saying. Nobody asked why we're doing this on a Wednesday yet, and it's not because I just decided that Wednesday was the day now. We're doing this on a Wednesday because I have to do more counts tomorrow evening, and usually I try to avoid that shift, but they put me on anyway, and I figured, you know what, I'm gonna have other afternoons, other evenings free this week, so I'll just I'll take care of it in one of those. Was gonna do it last night. I can't remember what stood in my way exactly. Something got in the way. But yeah, this section is abandoned if the trees weren't enough of a giveaway. This section is abandoned. 90-foot turntable modular ones. Is 90-foot too... 90-foot is like a medium-sized turntable. If I remember right, the Miskatonic is like a really old setting. I mean, if they're using the 1840 station. I hated working that late. Yeah, no, I understand. It's going to be a 9:30 to midnight shift counting passengers at Providence. I'm not exactly looking forward to it. I'm not, like, unhappy about it because it is going to be some overtime, which is nice. The setting for the route is 1905, yeah. Yeah, I thought that it would be nice overtime to, like, do all 3 days. Then I realized, oh yeah, under construction. Oh well, I guess I'm just gonna have to make that work. I'm gonna have to work around it. The AM counts are always on Tuesday. The midday counts are always on Wednesday. The PM counts are always on Thursday. So here we are. On Wednesday, it's the last evening I'll have free. And like I was saying, I could have fit in like a bootleg half under construction this coming Thursday, so tomorrow, you know. and I just didn't like it. I didn't like the look of having to do an under construction that I knew I was going to have to step out of and walk away from, you know, midway through. I'd rather start one late than end one early. If that's if that tracks with anybody. Um, just fill all this in. And I'm thinking about the sort of tricolor that I use underneath the forests, and I'm wondering if it matters. You know, I know it looks better from space, right? It looks a little bit more speckled than if we had just done plain texture. Also, man, I love the way this area is coming out. Um, but I don't know if it's actually benefiting the looks of the route at all. And I can't not read TF as Trash Future. Even though I don't watch Trash Future, I just spend enough time around people who do, and of course, you know, well, there's your problem, cast overlap. So, at 12:01 tonight, the Christmas season comes on. Can it be the 26th already? You're lucky you waited that long. Could have Christmas music in the background of this stream. No copyright Jingle Bells music stream. There we go. I like how frightful the weather actually is for us. For so many of us. But man, what I'd give for some snow. What I'd give for, like, actually cold temperatures. We haven't had a day below freezing yet. Like, we've had some time below freezing, but not like where the high was below freezing. I think it's the fire is so delightful, not like, delightful. Under construction, now under copyright, yeah. I'm a little bit surprised that my bins haven't blown away. Alright. I need a thinner spline for this. Okay, that'll do. I deal with Christmas music because I'd be plowing snow. You need to see the elephants to plow snow? I didn't know that. Oh, do you hear him? Can you hear him in the back? In the background? He's barking at somebody outside. I will take your 90-degree mornings. I will. And I don't have to be, like, out in them. I just want to look at them from in here. I guess the only advantage is that I haven't bankrupted myself with heating oil costs yet. So, that's, like, the only like, practical upshot of this. Which heating oil is not nearly as expensive as I want it to be. You know, we can all talk about how expensive things have gotten and gas prices and oil prices and things like that. If you look at, like, the world at large, we've got it so good right now. Compared to everybody else, we are riding high, we're riding easy. We are like the least screwed. Not saying we aren't screwed, but we're like the least screwed nation on earth right now. Because the plows in the state are DOT. Oh, okay, yeah, because I was going to say, I'm pretty sure a lot of plows around here are just a guy they hired. I blame the president. Well, that's pretty short-sighted if you ask me. I genuinely don't know what could have been done or not done at that level. Yeah, I think it's ludicrous to blame one guy who's in charge of our nation when every single nation in the world is having these struggles. And again, we have it way better than them. You've got to be comparative. It's not like stuff is just getting more expensive here. It's tradition to blame the person in charge, but it doesn't help you figure out what's wrong or, like, do anything about it. You know? And even in power, he's a puppet. Well. Presidential powers are limited, relatively speaking. He's not a dictator. But again, it's unhelpful. If we want to think about like what the situation is and how we go about making it better, then yeah, that's the line of conversation you want to have. But just blaming it on the president is just sort of sweeping it under the rug because you don't want to think about the actual causes and like possible solutions to these sorts of problems, to the high prices that are, again, it's a worldwide plague. Yeah, just print more money, obviously. Taps forehead. What could go wrong? Just Weimar Germany, this sucker. No, inflation wouldn't get worse. No, that's not how that works, obviously. Duh. I don't know how much grass to put over here because I know it's not really going to be looked at much. At least we got one field. We got one field done, okay? One done. That area is all set. Alright, next field. Every time it's a struggle to figure out what color I'm going to do for the next field. I think I can stick with one of these. Like, I can do this or this. These more muted colors. Or I can do, like, this or... What's one I haven't done in a while? What about this? Is this a different shade than this? Make it fall brown. Make it fallow. Yeah, maybe, but this one. I don't want to put too many fallow ones next to one another. Or like near each other. That is the same. Letting the currency value to 0, yeah. What season was that? I don't think I've seen that one. Or white for lime. I only really have these to choose from. These are the good textures that I've found thus far. And I think I'll try this one. Oh, is this the same one again? No. We're gonna have to do this centerpiece once again. Alright, just do it like this then. Nope. Oh wow, a wind advisory just popped up my screen. Man, I had no idea. The trash cans are tumbling down the street. I was playing Farming Map Builder 22 with hardly any licensed agricultural brands. Yeah. I could put up some billboards. The only brand name I have on this map, aside from Monkey Bananas Limited, is Burma Shave. And I think I'm going to keep it that way. I don't want to go... Well, I'm actually over the line already. So I'll just have to redo that line later. Oh, also, I was supposed to be going across this way, wasn't I? So now I need to delete this. Hold on. Alright, so we need to draw some lines, actually, so that we don't make that mistake again. Because these fields are supposed to be more or less, you know, in a good direction. Excuse me. Or uniform is the word I'm looking for. They are supposed to be uniform. And this needs to be 242 degrees. And you would have thought that would have been a right angle. I guess it is pretty close. Alright, give me this. let's take care of this. There we go. Yeah, we'll have these two together. Maybe I should have done these at a slightly different angle, but we'll have two green ones together instead of it sort of being speckled. The value for field squared is y. Needs more Maisie Ferguson. Is that also a brand? Is that a kind of... What is that? I'm not going to take blind guess here. I've heard the name. What is that? Please fill me in. Fill a city slicker in. Alright, there we go. Or is it Massey? Not Maisie. Massey. Fill all this in. There we go. We're hanging in there. That's something to be thankful for. They make tractors. Okay, see, I was going to say that, and I didn't want to sound like an idiot. I didn't want to sound like an idiot just making a guess. It's like, the farm people said a company name. It must make tractors. No, that would have been my first guess if I had actually had the balls to guess. Okay, so we'll block up the edges of these things later. Then what? Let's do this one. Agco. Okay. It's interesting. Surprised there aren't more open TTD peeps in here right now. It has been a fun couple of days in my single player save as I have figured out what works, what doesn't. You still can't make a passenger service run on nothing, that's for sure. I wish there was something where I could actually turn down revenue of other things, because it gets a little bit ridiculous. Honestly, part of me wants to turn passengers back up just to make it competitive. Especially with the changes I've made to the town generation. Part of the reason that I turned passengers down, passenger revenue down in the first place, is because it was too easy. Not just because they gave you a ton of money, but really because you could set up any route anywhere and make money. You know, towns are scattered across the world, and if you just picked any two towns, you could make bank. So that was my main concern and main, like, that's what I took umbrage with. Just like, there's no thought you need to put into this. You just run as many trains as possible. And now I feel like there's more thought that you need to put into a passenger train than any other kind of train. Because the freight trains, you just tell them to wait until they're full and then go. Whereas passenger trains, you've got to meter that, like, okay, this is going to dwell at the station for 5 in-game days, and then it's going to go. That way it has enough passengers to make a profit against its running cost of running this journey, because running cost is based on how much your train is moving. It has enough stuff on it to make this running cost, or to make this journey. That's number one. But number two, it gets there fast enough, and this is the balancing act, it gets there fast enough that your rating does not start to degrade. And yeah, your rating really won't degrade that much on these settings, but it will still degrade, especially for passengers. Passengers do not want to sit at the station for very long. And Bender, I'm glad you are, because I'm really looking forward to it. I'm afraid to ask if I know what John Deere is. No, never heard of him. Is that that sounds like he was the president of the Chessie, right? That's John Deere. Hello, Redding. We just established that Mr. John Deere was president of the Chessie system. because they asked me if I knew who John Deere was. I'm kidding. I know it's a tractor company. Jesus Christ. Uh, even City Slicker me knows what a John Deere is. Oh, brilliant. Yeah. No, and we were talking about the OpenTTD server, or I was trying to start conversation on the OpenTTD server. Bender's the only one who's biting on that hook there. You missed the political discussion, as we have to do every time. The thing that no one wants to do, and yet we always end up doing it. That's how it works here. That's how it works in the Discord. That's how it works at the dinner table. Distant cousin of John Deere Company. The Deere Railroad. I mean, I've seen some Deere Railroad stuff. I know it's not real, but I've seen it. Alright, let's fill this in. Or, well, rather, just slice it off. I know we'll have to come through there again. We've got to mark out the boundaries to these fields. I'm running out of names, but there's one I haven't tapped yet, so I will this Friday. I didn't use OpenTTD, so I can't say anything. Oh, you should, though! You should! It's free! It's free, and with the settings, if you have an office job, it's great to play at work. Don't tell my boss I said that. But seriously, the 10 times slow speed settings has done everything that I've wanted, like, a mobile game to do. Which, I know you can get OpenTTD on your phone, sort of. But that's not what I'm getting at. I'm interested in seeing how you were going to further tweak the settings. You can change the construction cost. Yeah, I can change the construction cost. The thing is, well, mine sure doesn't. Otherwise, they would have busted me a long time ago. I've had Minecraft on that thing for years. I use it as a personal computer when I'm not doing work on it. And you know what? If the company doesn't like it, they can talk to me about it. But in seriousness, I'm tempted to tweak the costs. I might not, because I don't know how things are going to look when we get towards the end times. I don't necessarily want to make it harder to survive the end, which is why I don't want to mess with maintenance costs, but I do want to make it harder to just expand in general. I was thinking of putting rail construction costs up to high. Now, each GRF and each GRF, when it focuses on a thing, it usually has settings that augment that thing. Like, the plane mod AV8 has settings that let you change the cost of airports. I mean, it's one toggle. It just, like, cuts them dramatically. Like a sixth. I like expansion. Well, simply get good. Point is, every mod has its own thing. And, obviously, OpenTTD trains are OP. Oh, notice the Y6B and a CP Hudson. Well, the CP Hudson was there because the Iron Horse and Railroad connects to the Canadian Pacific. The Y6B was we wanted to do something with a Y6B character, so sometimes it just showed up. Was this, like, very early on? Because that we sort of, we had a lot of thoughts, a lot of ideas. It might not have been early on, because the Y6B was on the docket for a while. For Leica, we want to do an episode where Y6B is lost or something. Wasn't my idea. We didn't end up going through with it. There are a couple of other artifacts like that. Those are the two. The CP Hudson, we never gave a characterization to, but she was supposed to be, like, present. You know, that's not an aberration. Again, connecting to the Canadian Pacific, run through traffic, run through power, that sort of thing. It would happen from time to time. We just never got to explore it in the series. The other one was the SP Oil Hauler, which was a daily train that would have run with a cab forward. That also hung around. You could see it in the background of some shots sometimes. We never got to use that character, but we were going to use the cab forward character because in the Iron Horseman chronology, one was never officially saved. But there was rumors that one had been stashed somewhere, and there becomes like a race to get it in the early 2000s. And we never really expanded on why there would be a race to get it, although I believe I had a conversation with somebody years after the fact that gave me some really good ideas. Um, but yeah, that would have been something. Let's see. Okay, this is as far as we went with the measuring. But yeah, that's that. But yeah, so the running costs, the building costs. I could change a couple of things. And I could change the airport costs. I could make them as they were, which I think was absurd. No, I'm glad you're curious. Thank you for asking. Uh, so I don't want to mess with that. The canal costs, I don't really know how I feel about them, but the construction and maintenance costs are bundled into one there. So I don't really want to mess with that because I don't want to mess with maintenance costs. They already get absurd towards the end of the the game. So that leaves like road construction costs and rail construction costs, and the road construction costs I don't think I can change. Maybe there's something in the settings of the unspooled mod which adds like the overhead wire over the roadway, that sort of thing. Um, but that doesn't strike me as I didn't notice that my first time through or second time through the settings, and it doesn't strike me as like reasonable. Uh, how are your yearly totals looking? How are the maintenance running costs murder? I think it would be largely unaffected by the reduction in game speed. It does seem like the maintenance costs are the same, uh, or at least they don't seem like they are killing me in 1850 anyway. Um, so yeah, I don't I I think the game speed does not mess with them. Running costs, however, that is affected by game speed a lot. Because running cost is, as John sort of started to realize, and then I went back and did some research on. Uh, I do have one last question. Who is Nick's cousin? Who is Nick's cousin? That's a good question. We never followed that thread at all. I totally forgot it was mentioned, but now you're reminding me that it was mentioned as like an aside joke. I don't I can't give you an answer. I'm sorry, I don't have an answer. I would be making something up on the spot. Uh, which I'm quite good at, but I don't want to create horseman lore on the spot necessarily unless it's like relevant to something. So probably just some SP thing. Um, can't really tell you more than that. You could say maybe Nick's cousin was that weird was that one SPSF engine that showed up at the beginning of one episode, and then Milky went like, "Why did he put that there?" And I went, "I don't know, it was SPSF." He goes, "Yeah, that wouldn't have been around for like another, you know, multiple decades." And I went, "Oh, okay. Well, I don't know my Western Railroad history, I guess." Um, Hi, Shortline. We're just I was talking about OpenTTD a bit, answering horseman questions, as we do, working on these fields. Out here in the fields, I fight for my meals. Um, so yeah, the only thing I would be able to really change that I would feel good about changing is the railroad construction costs. Unless I go find another GRF that changes, or that allows me to change other costs. Yeah, I'm sorry that was probably not a satisfactory answer, but some things were just thrown in as throwaways and we never got to expand upon them. I hate throwaways. Um, and in fact, I would punish them by integrating them into the lore and then having to explain them and going back to them, like the whole thing with the Balto, which is why the Warships universe is one with the Horseman universe. It was literally, it was meant to be a singular throwaway line, and I was like, this is our lore now. Buckle up. Um, but, you know, we get the World Tour short stories out of it, so there's that. Yeah. So, the running costs. I think the game assumes that running costs, which I already have them turned down to half, I think. I think the game assumes that running, because there was a toggle in a setting in a GRF somewhere. Um, Train running costs were probably already at half, I think. Um, and purchase costs too. Imagine if it had been more than that, it would have been insane. Uh, and the running costs, I still think were like getting to be inaccurate because of one thing or another with the game's calculations sort of breaking down towards the end of inflation, as we sort of tended to notice. And when you scale things back, the running costs seem to be measured based on, is the train trying to move and is the train moving? If the train is trying to move, or at least it's outside of the depot, like it's sitting somewhere, or it's waiting at a signal, or it's waiting at a station, it does accrue a minor cost. Not much, Stellar, just talking about this and that. Talking about Horsemen, talking about OpenTTD. If you were to run a train at 1x, you know, at normal speed, in a normal game, you were to just run it for a whole month or year, it would probably come back and tell you that's the running cost. It would give you, hopefully, I would assume, it would give you the running cost that's listed on the sheet for it when you buy the thing. But if the game is running at 1/10 speed, the train is able to run 10 times as much in a month. So you are paying 10 times as much running cost if you run all that in a month. If you just have your train go nonstop for the month. So don't do that. This is what I was saying about passenger revenue. If you have your passenger train going all the time, like in normal OpenTTD, you tend to just put a passenger train down and you say go from this station to this station, then go back. And that it usually does okay as long as the towns are sufficiently large. It will drive to one, pick up some passengers, drive to the other one, drop them off, pick up new passengers. And those stations will be filling up in the meantime, and the ratings will go down if there's no train there. But, you know, it shouldn't be too much as long as your train is fast enough to get back and forth, or you have enough trains that it's not empty for long. So basically, the yearly costs for trains basically get turned into monthly costs. Yeah, almost. That does seem, yeah, something like that. Yeah, I was just thinking about engine costs, not even like the cars and stuff. That'll compound it. Well, I mean, it'll still be 10 times what it was originally, but it won't just say what it says on the engine, of course. Anyway, the 1/10 speed setup, the cargo generates 1/10 as quickly, and I'm including passengers and mail and cargo here. I just don't run Gevos ever. I mean, words to live by. But if you know, if you run your train and expect it to go back and forth 10 times as many times and pick up the same amount of passengers, which it will approximately, and, you know, over the course of those 10 runs, it should equal one run of, you know, normal speed gameplay. Right? And once you do that, you would expect, okay, so it ran for an in-game year. It's, you know, say $1,000. It ran for an in-game year, that's the running cost, for a year. And it carried this many passengers. And that shouldn't change no matter how long a year looks to us. Except the train ran 10 times as much. So the running costs are now 10 times as much, and the passenger revenue, because it's the same number of passengers, it's the same number of passengers, Has not changed at all. So, irrespective of any adjustments that I have made to passenger revenue, you are now getting 1/10 the amount of passenger revenue. And that's not good. That's not what you want. And that goes for everything. I mean, if you don't wait for full load, every commodity, every train will be like that. And that's where my first couple tips come in, because I made my tips and tricks in the OpenTTD thread. That's where my first tips come in. Don't overbuild. Don't use a train where you can use a bus or a truck, because if you're only hauling, like, even if it's only like 100 tons of stuff a year, or even if it is 100 tons of stuff a year, if you're not taking it very far, if you're only taking it, 20 tiles, you're not going to get that money back. There's no way. You're not going to get close. So, what do you do? Well, you've got to, I'm going to grab this. You've got to be smart about it instead. You've got to have your train go to the passenger station or the freight station, but freight station's easy because you can tell it to full load, and it does not matter how long it sits there, you're going to make the same amount of money pretty much. Because the game runs 10 times as slow, it thinks your trains are delivering 10 times as quickly. So you basically get paid every time as if your train just teleported, The game does not know that it took, an hour or half an hour or whatever to load up and get over there. It knows it took 5 days or something. That's a massive, massive exaggeration. But the game only knows what the game knows. So, Divas on stacks, yes, always. Anyway, so yeah, that was my part of my tips and tricks. I mean, I can go through them because there's a lot I could add on either of them. I hit the character limit in the message. But yeah, I mean, everything goes 10 times as slow, or 10 times more slowly, or a tenth as fast. Except for the trains, Or you could just say your trains go 10 times as fast. They cost 10 times as much because they go 10 times as fast. And yeah, that's why I don't want to fiddle with any of the other costs, except for maybe construction costs, which would keep people thinking small when it comes to train networks, at least for the very beginning. I mean, I started out and I have like 7 million in the bank. It's the end of 1855. It's been 5 years and I'm averaging above $1 million a year just in pure profit. And that's a lot of money in 1855. Now, the kicker is I have almost every, reasonable to connect industry on the map connected, at least all the ones that I've found. Because after I had a couple of lines, I had more money than I knew what to do with, so I just went around and found all the industries that I could connect and did that. That's not really what I want people to do in the first couple hours of the server. I don't want I'm like 8 hours into this game now, 10 hours into this game. In the first few hours of the server, I do not want people going and finding every possible industry connection and just going to town with them. If that happens and someone logs on a little bit later and they don't have anything to build, that's not what I want to happen. And yes, as the game progresses, we should get situations where connections that were unfeasible before become feasible now. But that's something that everyone is going to be able to jump on. And if you are brand new and all you have is your loan, you're going to get less of an opportunity to jump on that than the guy who has 5 million in the bank. I mean, maybe especially if construction costs are high, but hopefully it'll keep the smaller stuff from getting all taken up, so that when you do jump in, if you jump in late, there still should be small stuff around. Now, the other thing I did was I turned on industries being built. The only issue with that is I'm afraid it might get out of hand eventually. I'm afraid there might end up being too many industries on the map because, well, they don't stop opening. It's alarmingly frequent. A one healthy competition like Milky and I had, and I feel like I'm not going to change anything yet. I think that it is possible that healthy competition still happens. I unfortunately cannot guarantee it, but I think that it's possible. So, I don't know. Take from that what you will. I'm just, marginally concerned with how well I'm doing in my game. Now, the other thing is, though, I have made some use of some tools that other people... You can't turn on building industries without industries opening. No, I can't. I even tried. I fiddled with the GRF settings and OpenTTD settings just to see if I could find a combination that would prevent industries from opening but still allow us to build them. It unfortunately does not, because FURS basically brings its own economy with it. The economy setup in base OpenTTD, which would either allow industries to, open and close or not, or change production quickly or not. The one thing I could change is the cargo distribution, updating the link graph, because I think it says it does it on scaled days, but I don't think it does. I think it does it in just days in game once again. Anyway, that's the other thing. Because it is sort of hilariously easy to get 80% rating at a station, competition is going to be weird. It may well be the person who gets there first will just get everything. Yeah, FURS. Yeah, and FURS brings its own economy to the table, and it just has a toggle for, like, can industries open? Not even can industries close. Like, they can't close, apparently. I've never seen one close. Even through everything that we did. And we did have a couple of test servers that did have industries growing on. I think the first and second one had it that way. And I remember this because Hemlock noticed an industry that was next to them after it had appeared, but they didn't notice it appearing. And they were just like, when did this get here? Why haven't I been using this the whole time? And it was because it had just appeared. We're using a lot of GRFs, but yeah, FURS is the one for the industries. And I think I've started to figure out Steeltown a lot more. So yeah. So there are a few things I've taken advantage of. Oh, and that's the other thing. If you make gazillions right out of the gate, you can just build industries wherever you want. Why do... Yeah, and it's like a year or two of revenue, but why even bother... why even bother connecting with stuff and competing with people when you can just build all the industries you want in the corner of the map that has the primary industries you want? Again, I don't know what FURS considers a primary industry, but point is, it's a thing. I cannot disable that. Honestly, I wish industry construction was like, multiple times more expensive. Because it's just too easy. It's just too easy. It feels way too powerful. Anyway, let me finish this line here and then I'll finish my thoughts. But you can do PSR. You can schedule stuff, you can timetable stuff. There is a timetable button in the settings window, and that's one of the things that not only saved my bacon when it came to passenger trains, which I have one that makes money and one that does not, but it saved my bacon when it comes to passenger trains. The other thing it saved my bacon with is these absurd mixed trains. I mentioned in one of my tips that mixed trains are much more viable now. And honestly, with Steeltown, I'm starting to think that mixed trains are not just viable, they're mandatory. You need to have railroad, or you need to have your trains doing things all the time, and if you want them to run more than once an hour, you need to have them carrying more than one thing. Because the industries, they don't get up to absurd production levels unless, you're chucking a bunch of engineering supplies at them, and even then, it's only like 1,000 per month. And I don't really want to fiddle with those settings, but yeah, it's no, we're talking OpenTTD. But yeah, you want in the slowed mode, you want your trains to be pulling double, triple duty, quadruple duty even. I have a setup which, for those interested, I could show at the end of the episode because I'm very proud of it. And it is a handful of trains. It's grown a little bit, but it started off with just 2 or 3 trains, and it's handling, let's see, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, probably a dozen at least commodities. I couldn't even begin to name them all. I couldn't even begin to go through them all. I would be here for a while. I'd have to do a hard think. It's not even remotely like, oh yeah, I have got a train, it's hauling 2 things. Like, I have trains that are regularly hauling 6 different things at a time. And different segments of their run, they're hauling different things. And that's because these industries are close together, number one. But also, number two, like, they're just so good at that. You can get away with stuff with these orders because you can command loading by commodity individually and unloading by commodity individually. You can have it pick up only slag, even though you have it refitting for all available cargo. Refitting for available cargo is a godsend. Conditional loading and unloading, you can have it only unload the sand. Most MVP, yes. MVP vehicle of World War II was a Porter tank engine, yes. The most MVP person of World War II was a bear. But yeah, you can do outrageous things, and I cannot wait for people to figure this mod out. There will be some bankruptcies, but here's the thing. Because things go slowly, you have so much time to bail out a sinking company. You have so much time to figure out what's going wrong. There is no... Like, you could shut down your whole system and rebuild it, and your stations probably might not notice. They might not notice. The hassle would all be with you. You could just stop all the trains and just, like Garfield, and just rebuild all the track around them. And not only that, because you're only running 1/10 as many trains if you're running full load, you have massive gaps in between trains. You don't need to worry about, okay, I have to stop the trains so I can rebuild this intersection. You go, alright, there are no trains around, alright, tearing everything out. Like, you can get away with that. It's amazing. I love these mods. They have turned this into like the best Transport Tycoon game I've ever played. Anyway, I'll finish gushing for the minute. Basically, I have to do PSR. I hope it will be easier But it will be even more PSR, I have little doubt. If I'm going to be completely honest, I feel like it will be more PSR than it ever has been if or when we get to the end game. Because instead of being PSR like cut out everything, just shut down everything that isn't making bongo bucks. Uh it'll be PSR in that, okay, we need our trains to use as little infrastructure as possible and make as much money as possible. Um, I want to play OpenCTD so much. It's finally the multiplayer transport game I wanted so much, but I just don't have. Yeah, no, I get it. It's nice. It's so good. Like, I'm so glad that I was forced into playing it the first couple times so that I got Stockholm Syndrome into loving it. Um, Most portended Nimitz, Rommel, Unsinkable Sam, Enterprise, Eisenhower, Spitfire, Tiger, GMC 5-ton truck. The Tiger was not an MVP. Rommel was pretty good at his job, though, so I'll give you that one. But Liberty ships also deserve an MVP award. I would swap out Tiger with Liberty ships. But anyway. It's interesting. I mean, Enterprise is in there, but I think like the aircraft carrier as a concept being an MVP of World War II, because let's face it, it was not a thing in the First World War. Aircraft reconnaissance was in its infancy. Aircraft fighting was like it was not much. You had they just figured out how to put guns on planes that pointed forward. Depends on the variant. Still, no, I don't know. I don't think I agree with that. I don't think it depends on the variant at all. If it has to depend on the variant, that's not an MVP. It's not. Yeah, no, I don't agree. Honestly, I don't think any particular tank deserves an MVP award for the Second World War. They all had their distinct strengths and weaknesses, and they all get memed to hell. And there was very little that could put a tank above all of its superiors. Like, everything had a rock paper scissors, it seemed. And yeah, the Tiger was a good tank, but at the same time it was not a good tank. It was it was a half decent weapon of war, but it was not a good vehicle. And that sort of puts the kibosh. You know what? Actually, no. Here's your swap out for the Tiger. The Long 88. There's an MVP award. That I think is deserving. I mean, yeah, it's for the bad guys, but still. Crane Sisters, Chicago class. Uh, I mean, the Japanese carriers were neat. I think the Big E definitely deserves that MVP award. Um, MVC, most valuable carrier. The Swordfish gets MVB, most valuable biplane. But also the monoplane fighter just deserves an award, or that sort of thing. There are so many things that contributed to World War II. That's why you've got to give out so many damn awards. Uh, it's hard to lay lay uh, it at the feet of any particular ship, any particular class, any particular type of vehicle. The 5-ton truck is definitely a reasonable thing to hand it to. That's for sure. But, yeah. No, I think the Liberty ship deserves it on the logistics side. The Long 88 deserves it on the gun side. I mean, find me a better weapon, like, especially early in the war. What about the warship freighter? MVPs for best spy ship. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe best spy ship is like, you know, I don't know what the hell kind of comparison to make. It's brightest broken light bulb. You know, these Q ships were not very good, just in general. There's a reason they didn't become a phenomenon very much. They're interesting stories, but they're not good practice. Uh, I cannot. Yeah. Sink a Leander subclass cruiser. Oh, you know what? Hey, here's a fun one. Leander class, Leander subclass cruiser. I mean, and those things happen occasionally, but they're again that doesn't make them good weapons. Again, it might be best. Yeah, yeah. It's if it's the best spy ship, if it's the best Q ship, it is. It is the tallest midget. It is just like the best of the worst. You know. All right. Filling this in. So, worst torpedo award, Mark 14, exactly. Failures like onions. You could give all sorts of these ridiculous awards to things in World War II. I mean, best a-hole, Patton. I have arrived. Hey, Pat. I am just doing some grass in these farm fields. Not very much. Really excited for the OpenTTD server. I really wish we could have more than 16 companies. That's the only thing I wish. I mean, if this is going to go on for like 3 weeks, which it is-ish, I could see some people not wanting to jump in until later for one reason or another. And I hope, best battleship has to be New Jersey. Best anything called New Jersey is the battleship New Jersey. But I'm going to say best battleship is Massachusetts for never losing a soldier. For never losing a sailor, I should say. But, yeah. Alright. Let's see. Gotta keep the ball rolling here. Starting to get warm in this. I'm glad the power has not gone out again. Which battleship? BB-62, the pre-dreadnought. Best battleship is Bismarck. Bismarck may earn a prize for, like, worst battleship. But best song. Bismarck was terribly designed, but, you know. The Germans, they tried. They never really could hold themselves in the water after Jutland, so. You know. There was an attempt. Bismarck is cool solely for its legacy. Like, it's not a very good ship. But there are plenty of things like that. If it had gone on a proper rampage, it would have, you know, the legacy would have been really something. It's just, I feel like they built a battleship for the job of a heavy cruiser, or even a light cruiser. I mean, commerce rating, yeah, I know the British and them, they had some larger ships on convoy escort, but you weren't guaranteed to run into one of them. You needed to be able to run away from one of them. Also, they should have just been submarines. I mean, Their convoy ratings. It's you. Why build a battleship to do the job of a submarine? Uh, Brest cruiser Prince Eugen. It's a good cruiser. Virginia class free dreads for having a stupid turret arrangement. Love those. Those are the stack turrets, the wedding cake turrets, right? Because those are really funny. I love those. It's a shame the closest thing we have to a surviving dreadnought. I mean, we have Texas-ish, but Texas is late, you know, compared to that. The only surviving thing we have from that era is like, I don't know, Olympia, and that's before that era. You know, it's from like it's 2 eras early. Love Olympia though. It's very very cool. Get to visit the engine room and stuff. If you haven't seen Drakenfeld's video on it, do so. I get to visit all those spaces. It's a beautiful museum. It's a beautiful ship. Glad it's not like deteriorating like it used to be. And the engines are in immaculate shape. Should fire it up and run on the main line. Yeah, I know. Turbot said New Jersey, Alabama, and a few other BBs on standby in case she made the Pacific. Well, yeah, I mean, if something like that is gonna get out, you're just gonna dunk on it. That's what were those battleships really being used for at that point in the war, other than shore bombardment anyway? You just have them sitting around and waiting for something to shoot at. Okay. Um. Let's see. What's next? It's 8:24. It's been about an hour and change. I said I was going to get up to like here with it or something. I'm talking locomotives when I'm typing. Oh. Oh, Pacific Atlantic, haha. I didn't even notice. It didn't even register with me that you had mistyped. Okay, we've got to do some homesteads. We've got to build some stuff. And I think I'm going to start over here. Because this is going to be a larger one that controls a few fields. And I think we'll just block it out like this. And we'll put a couple of barns down. I think I'll use the brick silos because I never use the brick silos. And I'll put down this magenta colored thing. Yeah, there was a thing that I found a while ago, a website that I found that just gave me a list of all of the like the gun warships that were still around. You know, the BBs and things like that. Basically, every large ship from that era. And there were not many. Oh. Oof. All right. Yeah, there were not many. Find object. No, not find object. Where's Oh, it's in here. Search filter. You know what site you're talking about? Oh, good. Yeah, it's a neat site. I like it. I wish I would get updated, but you know it's not. And by updated, I mean I wish things would be added to it. But of course that doesn't make sense because things aren't going to be added to it because they aren't finding more ships that somebody left in a barn like a K-37 or something. That's not how this works. This looks like something from Courage. Let's see. This is actually a cool industry. I think I'm gonna connect these two, if it doesn't look atrocious. It doesn't look the worst that I've seen. Actually, I'm gonna slide it over again. Because I like having the stairs on this side of the building. There we go. I need like a mansion. That's not a mansion. Farm mansion. Let's see what we can find. Also, I hope my fridge isn't broken because it started making some weird noises after the power went out and it came back. I guess we're just going to go with this. Alright. So, spin this around. I ended up going over to it and just beating it up. You know, just some percussive maintenance to see if I could get it to go again. Get it to make the right sounds. And it did. So, hopefully it's fine. I haven't heard it kick on since I was doing that to it. So if I go in there and all my food's warm, I know what the problem is. Just have to start putting it outside. Alright, I think I'm going to take care of this, clear this. We're going to need to separate these, but I'm also wanting to do that. Oh, crap. Hover house. Check it out. It's hovering. Its sensitivity. Greenhouse design is based off Shinano's Island. Okay. Oh, right. Shinano is the would have been a Yamato. Yamato. What the heck? Oh, I see. This land is much bumpier than I thought it was. Alright. Take care of this. Take care of this. Go along the edge here. Alright. Oh, and that means the server computer would have shut down because the power went out. Of course. That's the one I would have wanted to use for the OpenTD server anyway. Just being a little bit of a pain. Looks like the farm the grandparents were gonna buy. Well, I'm glad I'm doing something vaguely realistic. I'm just throwing buildings together out here. I gotta put a couple cars in the driveway on this one, because this is worth like 3 homesteads, so I should put 3 times the effort into it. I already have 3 times the buildings. Let's take care of that little piece of grid that you can see under there. You always want to be on the lookout for that, because you will leave those scattered around and then find them hours later. Especially when you're driving around in Driver, I always end up taking notes where I find those so I can go back and clear them up later. Yeah, there's not going to be a highway over here, unfortunately. So I won't be quite spot on, but I'll be close. Alright. And then 1953. I know that takes me to this. Alright. So we've got that. That's handling these 3. And then what? I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can we get this done today? Man, I don't want to, but here, let's go. Let's do it. I mean, I would be bothered by a highway like that as well. I used to be not far from one. You couldn't really hear it through the woods, but yeah, it was there. And then my office was on a fairly major road. Well, that's, yeah, kids. Alright, so I keep seeing this and thinking it's a piece of grid that I've forgotten about. I think I'm going to make something a little bit more quaint for this one. Oh, excuse me. Let's find just like the smallest barn we've got. Yeah, that'll do. And we can use some dirt on the inside here. It is hovering a little bit, so we can fix that. Just get it on the ground. This is going to be a person that does not really mow their lawn. And in fact, I am going to grab a different spline. Not that one, though. It's damn near invisible. Nope, that's too green. Don't like that. This reminds me of my aunt's yard. is just like a rocky mess. Not gonna say which aunt though. Alright. Alright, good night, Orion. Alright, so next one is gonna be right here at the corner. It depends who's around at the end of the stream if I end up showing off the situation with the, my shtick on the OpenTTD world that I've been working at. Sorry, I'm a little bit obsessed right now, for those who can't tell. It's been very, very cool to toy around with that and to be a part of that. Let's do... We haven't used this one. And I want some sort of house. I want not these houses, though. No. This reminds me of a house that's down in Gettysburg Memorial Park. A little bit, anyway. What might have been interesting is having the closest house to those other fields be abandoned. As if they had taken over that plot of land. Oh well. I'll have to do that somewhere else. Should give me this grass. Fill in the gaps with this grass. I like the way this turns out, actually. Because you have like this path up to the door. I'll stick a silo in the back. Oh man. Okay. That's how my body feels right now. I like how this area is a little bit uneven. I don't even think I used I don't think I used a topography thing on this. Maybe I did. Maybe I did very lightly. Yeah, actually down here I probably did. It was up here that I stopped. I know, I'm aware it's not Thursday, Matt. Also, welcome to the stream. I have train counts, or I had train counts this week. And one of the things that entails is a Thursday evening count. So I decided I'm not going to try to make half an episode before I leave for that count. I'll just make one on Wednesday instead. My original idea was I was going to make one on Tuesday. And that didn't pan out for one reason or another. I can't remember what. I think What was it? What did I have to do? Now I'm really struggling. There were a couple things I had to do. Yesterday. So I went, you know what, screw that. I guess I'll be making it on Wednesday. Which worked out because Gloria's not here. And that means I can talk about them without them busting in and saying, "Are you talking about me? Are you, you know, you're making fun of me?" That sort of thing. So I don't have to worry about that today. So I can talk about them whatever I want. But actually, behind their back... Oh, I didn't put this in the mail. Behind their back, I'd like to say, I love them very much. We watched My Cousin Vinny last night, which I cannot wait to make an episode of The Realist on that. I think I might make it tomorrow now that I have this free. Or now that I have tomorrow evening free, aside from the counts, which start at 9:30. I'm just going to actually face these away. Yo, I've got Sheetz gas station stuff. I've got Sheetz assets. Just saw the name of the recent terminus. Might actually have to watch it. Uh-oh. What was the name of those? What was it? Remind me. What was the name? I don't remember what I called it. I remember liking it. So, let's see. Oh, the Nason lubricator. That was just me tormenting Tyler, I think. Or tormenting whoever was... I think it was Tyler. I think I'm actually going to put this... I'm going to use this somewhere, but not here. Yeah, let's just put a ship. Let's do... This guy's house is just... Oops. That's this guy's house. This little building right there. I haven't done one of these that's under construction yet, which I should do. But there are a couple. Okay, I'll have to take note of those for later. I really thought this was going to be smaller than those. I really expected it to be like 2 big ones and 1 little one, and then it turned out to be two medium-sized ones and a slightly larger medium-sized one. You said under construction. I did. You gotta do the the Leonardo DiCaprio, like, there it is. Alright. There we go. There we go. And I think I need some sort of still barn or shed. Get some pump houses. Let's put this on the corner. Oh, why is this so big? Holy crap. This door is like... This door is humongous. Do I have a smaller pump house? Is this smaller? Tell me it's smaller. It's taller. I'm just gonna do this. I think I guess I'm just gonna have to look up barn again because I want a... Not this. I do have to use this though. Actually, I think I'll just have a silo that stands on its own. Yeah, definitely that. Actually, I'll put this up behind the thing. I mean, nitrates are used in farming, so I will have a clear patch where there was something. Not pavement. Not that. Just mud. Oh, you know what should go there, actually? Hold on. Let me find them. Find my splines. Give me the shrub spline. There we go. There's gonna be shrubs in here. It makes it look like that's actually like an orchard sort of thing of bushes. Which is not my intention, but I'll keep it. Wapco. Alright. So, yeah, you crazy people, we're doing OpenTTD again. Kind of blows my mind. I was shocked that it was getting that many votes because it's like, yeah, we're gonna do this anyway. Why are we going out of our way to do it? And then we're gonna do it. I was gonna maybe sit on it until after finals, like East was begging me to do. But oh well, you guys screwed East over. I hope you're happy. Um, okay, so somebody pinged me. Oh, oh boy. It's like size. Sorry about that. So, nope, wrong tab, wrong tab, wrong tab. There we go. One of these days, Dean will get his Wolfpack playdate. I don't own Wolfpack. I'm not sure if I would end up buying Wolfpack for this, but you know what? I'm sure the people who would get to play it would be happy because that's a rare thing. Um, but you know what? I appreciate the persistence. More people should be like that. The throwing stuff at the poll and just seeing what people vote for, it takes 2 seconds to write down a game, even if it's an obscure game that no one's gonna go for. You know, I could write down what could I write down? What do I have this multiplayer that I can write down Mashinki every time? Um, oh hey whatever. Um, yeah, I could write down Mashinki every time, and it probably wouldn't really get any votes, but at least it would be there, and at least it would have one. And maybe someday when people want something different, they could throw that out, or you'd get the right combination of people a week. We do one of these a week. You get 52 shots a year to get the thing you want, and you might only get one of them, but then you still get to play that game with people. So, you know, I think I'm gonna make this sort of long and thin. But, you know, looking forward to this. Looking forward to this Friday. Hopefully it doesn't end up being too slow for people. That's the one thing I'm worried about. And I'm not necessarily saying like it's going to be too slow for people in general. I'm saying it's going to be too slow for the play date, where we're going to build something and then we're going to spend most of the time just sitting around going, well, now what? You know? Um, while we should make plenty of money, I don't, I don't know if, well, those are some long and thin buildings. I don't know if, like, everyone's attention will always be. Well, honestly, that part's unimportant because it's a community play date. It's for hanging out as much as it is for like doing the game, right? So let's see. I want this, and then I want there to be like an abandoned one here, and another big one over here. All right, there we go. I'll just keep this because is this floating? No, it's not. It's not floating. It's fine. Um, that over there. There we go. And now we need another farmhouse. Which I'll just put like a yeah, I'll just do that. I'll have this one facing out into the field instead of facing the road. That could be interesting. Let's see. I don't know, I'm sort of at a loss for words. I don't really have anything to ramble on about right now. Could talk about, I could talk about OpenTD for hours, but what else am I going to say? I mean, it's been amazing. It's just been a long couple of days. It's been a long week, really. Ever since Thanksgiving and beforehand, man, I've been running, running, running. I'm kind of glad that people got distracted with the OpenTD server because it let me worry less about a thing or two. Alright, so this is going to go over here. And then there was some sort of abandoned farmhouse. American farmhouse. Oh, you know what? That's interesting because these are like farmhouse one word versus farmhouse two words. That does make a difference. I didn't even think about doing it as two words until I just started writing farm. Um, there we go. And as for the basis, we need something. Not farm, that's for sure. How about this? And I'm just going to smother it with grass. Give me regular grass. Regular thick grass. Yeah, I'm starting to run out of steam. Oh well. We got like an hour to go. What am I gonna do in this hour? I mean, I've gotta get myself off this, and I've gotta start working on something else, because I am going to get to the point where I'm just sort of meandering, and I'm not talking, and I'm not doing like anything productive. I'm just here, and I don't want to be just here. I don't. If I wanted to not talk, I would just make them time lapses still, you know. But I want to do this as a stream. I mean, it is part because I just don't. It's part because I don't have the time to necessarily do it and then render it. But you know, there are what should we call it? There are ulterior motives for everything. Cat's in the cat bed, dog's on the couch. Everybody's sleeping but me. And there's a bottle of eggnog in the fridge, and I don't know where it came from. I don't remember buying it at the store. Alright, there we go. There we go. Okay, so we're going to build something kind of big here, I think. Which, first thing I want is that... I want that shearing barn. Excuse me. Hay barn, timber barn. Wait. What was it called? I thought it was, thought it was in here. Shearing shed. Shearing shed 09. You go there. Abandoned farm buildings, doubtless after the hurricane, there'd maybe some there too. Yeah, well, the hurricane was 70 years ago. I don't think there would be any left. That's my only issue with that, with doing that. And this area wasn't necessarily... I mean, I guess it would have been built up, but... not necessarily that much. There's another thing that I saw that I wanted to include. There are plenty of buildings from 70 years ago still standing. Well, here's the thing. Hurricane tends to mean not standing. I feel like if they were abandoned after the hurricane, they were probably abandoned because they were a wreck, and they're not going to be there anymore. Or they were abandoned because they had been destroyed. Putting some other stuff in these fields might not be a bad idea. But I think I'm going to try to justify all that with more contemporary issues or more contemporary reasons. Alright, let's see, we need a farm. Yeah, I was gonna say, tornado, well, a tornado doesn't, you know, but tornado plus harsh winters. Yeah, no, and that's fair. Most of these are still independent, it would seem. But yeah, there should be fewer homesteads and more... What the hell? Alright. There should be fewer homesteads and more large... You know, there should be fewer small farms and more large farms. Is what I'm trying to say. So you're probably right there. There should be more abandoned buildings. I've just gotten into this farmer house. Grover House. I've just gotten into this vibe of doing one for one, and that isn't... Yeah, you're right. It's not necessarily what I should be doing. I don't know. It is food for thought. And I probably will do more abandoned ones. Because it makes me have to do fewer of them, you know? Uh, Obviously there aren't going to be more buildings, or at least like full-on homesteads, than there are fields. And I'm doing one for one right now. So if I can reduce that by any amount, if I start saying that each homestead controls 2 fields, then suddenly I am having to make half. Also, I should have put this on the end of the road. Oh, farm old I wanted to use somewhere. Just like here, prime farmland, their abandoned buildings galore are entirely farm related. I recommend putting down trees at the homesteads, quells the noise and wind. Yeah, I do need to go back and do trees and stuff. I need to go back and do windbreaks starting, I think here was where I wanted to do one. And yeah, putting down some trees at each of these homesteads is probably a good idea and will help things. That is a good... Thank you for reminding me about that, because that's something that I wanted to do, is to do the windbreaks, and I just sort of I lost track of that. Wow, those are ugly windows. Okay. I'm gonna set this way back, and I'm gonna let this be abandoned. I think I'm gonna use one of these, because I actually like these a lot. And I haven't gotten to use them yet because I didn't know about them. Uh-oh. Who's that? Who is it? Who's that? It's just... He hears somebody outside moving their trash bins now that the wind has died down, and he's just quietly barking. Abandoned equipment. Yeah, no, I'm skimping on the equipment. Mostly this stuff is going to be kind of far from the camera, and I just... Oh man, it's just so much work. I mean, I should have just, like, junk piled up at every single one of these, you know? And I don't even have, like, vehicles at all of them. I don't even have driveways. Like, I spent so much time doing driveways in suburbia, and now I'm just sort of... I'm banging out the most important things only. And even there, I mean, that was the most important thing at that point, because you don't have a house without a driveway there. And yeah, you don't necessarily have a house without a driveway here, but... Get him. Get him. Who's out there? Who's out there? Nope. He doesn't want to hop up there and bark it. Bark at somebody. I don't know where these came from. Probably a route that is going to screw me over because I don't have, because not everyone's going to have it. Alright. So you're coming up with all like special names for your also spaces for horses. Yeah, I know. It's the 1950s. Not all of this would be mechanized. I have tossed down some horse barns here and there, but yeah, there isn't necessarily a clear, like, place for equipment, you know, in all these. Really, there should be more buildings. I just don't necessarily have, like, I don't have the best variety, I feel like, and I can't necessarily be bothered to go and find variety. Alright, do that, and then grab this, and just... Gonna make sure that's not Gloria. Nope. Because when Gloria's like, come pick me up, then I'm gonna end the stream and go pick them up. Can't find anything that looks good. Um, there we go. Okay. We've got that. We've got all of the homesteads that are necessary on this side. Moscow and Eastern, which is a real concept. Next one this is going to last longer is going to be longer. That's what she said, question mark. I mean, I'm just going to keep being the Iron Horseman. I've had some funny names for locomotion railroads, but I think I'm just gonna make this whole area something big. We need okay, so we need a farmhouse, and this one is right up on the track. So I'll try to go far with it. Try to make it complete, you know. So farmhouse, we need a nice looking barn. Like a nice looking barn. But not the JR one, because I like it when someone tries to bomb my company and something stupid like the name Hem. It's a dirty WWF name, of course. There's our horse barn. These are small. So many derelict barns, which we probably should make use of. Friggin' timber barn. It's gonna face the road here. Let's also have, I mean, we need a silo or two. Slide this guy a little bit closer. Even closer. Uh-oh. Oh, never mind. I thought the game had frozen again. Barnaby's. That's exactly what I want. If I throw down the dairy barn... Oh, the dairy barn actually does fit. That's interesting. I don't think I'm going to use that because of what it 100% represents in this map. What am I missing? Okay, I am missing... We could add a little bit extra on this. Is there a grain elevator out there? Yes, we're going to have that in Pan Am, though. Oops. Clicking the wrong button. It stands to reason that they're much more common now because you can pick them up wherever... You can pick grain up wherever you want with a truck. Whereas before it was just like giant ones in rail tubs. I feel maybe I'm misunderstanding the logistics for grain. I suppose you had to load them in the truck somehow to get them to the rail terminal. Okay. Well, maybe we're ahead of the game, I guess, because I had only figured putting them in the major cities. And I even had one, I even have a shuttered one in Olive, so I am unfortunately ahead of the game. Let's see. What kind of fence? Here in multiple paragraphs. I'll give you a little story of the remains of the SNA and GN and BN, or GN and then BN ownership. All right, hit me. Okay, main line deleted. I'm gonna build like a little... It's a mess. I mean, this is more like a chain link fence, but close enough. There's not a door on the side of this building. That's fine. Who cares? Some chicken coops here. I need to find an underlying texture for this. Move one at a time, huh? As they manage to shut down elevators and, you know, get them to go somewhere else, I assume. Yeah, okay. That message explaining that just came in. Let's see. Take care of this. Obviously, I'm just like greenwashing here, and I'm going to come back and do things later a little bit better. I have an idea of how I want this area to look. At least the back corner area. There we go. I think I'm going to put this here. Give it to me verbatim instead of saying it badly. What does that mean? Let's fill this in. Or let's make all that grassy, because this edge here is probably pretty untouched. And I thought about putting like a walking path up the side, but that seems like a lot for what would otherwise be here. Verbatim is also a good word. It's a $5 word. I used... What's the word I used? I don't know, but I like it. It was a good word that I used, and I can't remember what it was. And the guys at the Model Railroad Club like balked at me, and I was like, "What? What's wrong with that?" It would have been like, no, it wasn't extant. It was vestigial, which is a great word and very useful for describing certain things. All right, so we got our chicken coop there, and I want this to be actually, I kind of want some of this to be gravel. Oh. No. I don't really like that either. Also, the Donner stuff has proven to be unhelpful. Although I don't remember downloading that. So... Nope. What about this and I turn the scale all the way down? What about it? That's the scale all the way down? Those rocks are gargantuan. This is not gravel. This is loose stones. Alright. So, I want another shed out here. And in fact, that could be the high detail barn that I keep scrolling by. Just gonna scroll on by without saying hello. It sort of matches. Nope. Let's see. I need another fence. Probably just like a 3-bar wooden fence or something. But yeah, what are you doing? wonder I wasn't finding a fence. Farmyard fence. Not really what I'm looking for. I just need 3-bar fence. Perfect. I appreciate you saying, like, spitballing as you were, because it means I'm going to turn the one that matters into something that looks really good. I think, anyway. I hope, anyway. I'm actually going to pull this back to here so that we have a way into the barn. Mike Barnes. Those are all not long branches. Those are like barely Strasbourg-sized branches. I find that kind of funny. Grass mixed with rock, Donner grass. Again, I think the Donner stuff was no good, but here it is. I want the slightly grassier Donner stuff. And in fact, a lot of this stuff would just be dirt, wouldn't it? Because why wouldn't it be, really? This is right up on the tracks. This is a place that people actually care about and pay attention to, as opposed to a lot of the other ones that we've been building. So, to that end, I am going to do some grass work. Lafayette, lie down. Don't be a pain now. But I'm going to try to meter it to around the sides of buildings where it might be more realistic. This has really given me not a second wind, but it's given me more of a reason to work on this now that we're in this area right up next to the tracks. It's maybe one I actually put some effort in. See, I haven't totally lost interest in building this thing. This farm's getting a little samey. Probably not the only one who agrees. So, I'm going to fill in all the areas without that I've left as grass, rather, without dirt. And now I need some junk. I need some vehicles and I need some junk. Take me down to this stuff. Oh. Coke fridge. Oh, I could have put like a little gas station on this corner. It's the middle of nowhere gas station. Oh. Hi, Lafayette. When I'm happy with this, I think we're going to wrap up. The trees are going to be it. That's the thing. Oh, horse trough is taller. My bad. Also, it should probably be right here. That's some dirty water, though. Okay, so horse trough. I think I'm actually going to use one of these big leaf trees. Maybe not this one exactly, but one of them. There. Although that one looks dumb. Oh well. Now let's put some, would it be a bad idea for me to put some pear trees in the chicken coop? Or in the chicken zone? Probably be a little bit annoying if you're trying to get the fruit off of them, but chickens get automatically fed, so where's the loss, really? Let's get one of these red Chevy pickups right outside the barn. Increased competition leading to less carloads, yield losses, mainly in part weight restrictions, yeah. Weight restrictions are such a story on these. Though considering this doesn't appear to be a Granger road. No, I mean, not exactly. We will have one of those, though. The Mansfield Branch Railroad is going to look more like that. And so when we get to that, I will probably be, asking for some audience input with regard to figuring these out. And we need a tractor. Oh, you know what? These farm walls are probably better. Let's grab some hay bales, stick them in the corner here. That's too far to the left, to the right rather. A hay shed. Oh, that's too large. But that's a good idea for future. This hay shed. I'm gonna put a bush directly on top of this, I think. No, not quite. Now that's somebody who's been there a while. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I skimped on this back here. Although I wanted to put some junk back here, which I probably will do. I know that car doesn't make any sense because it's a much newer car, but I'm just leaving it. It's an Easter egg. Let's look for some more junk. Oops. Let's see. Oil barrels. Can I tip these over? Oh, I totally can. That's awesome. Okay, it's climbing on stuff because he hears somebody outside. Big barrel. Alright. I don't actually know what this is. But it'll make some good junk. It's a piece of the bridge. From a piece of an old bridge they just chucked in there. Oh, you know what? Here, let's replace the car that's way too new with one that's actually appropriate. What about let's chuck this. Can I roll this? No. How about some tires? Yes. I'm liking this. Just throwing everything at the wall here. Seeing what sticks. With the way this looks. Let's look at this crap. Oh, these are trees. Yeah, dead tree. Why not? Stump. Oh, stump. How about right here? Nope, that's too big and too close to the tracks. More trees. Lots of trees. Bent trees. Whoa. Where am I supposed to put that? Next to a nuclear bomb crater? Sugar mill stuff. Definitely want a supermarket. That would do. Oh, you know what? I need a trailer of some kind. Yeah, that would look great right there. And a picnic table here with some swings next to it. Because the dad who lives here is a good dad. Even though he's got all this junk that he doesn't want to clean up. But, you know, ain't we all? Femlod. Filter bed. Whoa, okay, no. Oh, you know what I wanted to throw in here that we don't have? I wanted a little pump house. We can throw some firewood on the back of this house here. A lot of firewood. Fire station, fishing boat. Flack's favorite mine. And I can't do a flag because this isn't America. Ford Transit Van, Fountain, Foundation. Forklift. Forklift certified. Needs a truck. It's got a truck. Right there. That was actually one of the first things I put down because I realized I needed a truck. Also, hi MK, how you doing? And now I'm just scrolling through whatever. I'm just sort of putting off the end of this episode because, man, I don't want to move past this. I don't want to start anything else, but you know, been lurking for most of the stream. I wondered who that other unaccounted for person was. I hope you haven't been too, you know, too bored when I run out of things to talk about. I am still very tired. I have not been able to catch up, really, on sleep this whole, basically since Thanksgiving. I mean, I screwed myself over. It's my own damn fault, but I wanted a pump house. That's what I want. Pump house. And I need, like, a reasonably sized one. Yeah, how about this? There we go. Okay. We've got our farmstead for, like, all these fields. Maybe I should put another one down here, but I don't know if I have it in me to do that. At least not today. At least we've made it to the river in terms of farmsteads, which is your homesteads, farmhouses, whatever you want to call them, which is almost more than I expected from today. I mean, we did kind of cut them out. We did kind of cut some out, but, you know. This is such a great area to run along, though. It came out wonderful. I can't wait to get more of it done. It even feels like... It feels pretty good. So this should probably be leveled out and flattened. Because that's not how that's supposed to look. There we go. Yeah, that's fine. Actually, the way it sort of sinks into the ground over there is, I think, better than it typically looks. See, the part that I flattened was this, which means this part is a little bit higher raised than it should be. It's not something that's going to necessarily set off alarms. It's just not great. So... I think we're good. I think we're doing good here. It's coming along very well. And the fact that this side of the river is basically officially done except for some trees, oh man, I love that. That means we are not halfway to Pan Am, but maybe 40% of the way. Well, we're maybe halfway if you count all this work. But considering we haven't been doing a lot of AI because of, you know, technical limitations, we'll get here sooner rather than later, and I feel like I've hit a stride on this. This was also so much work, doing this bridge. And those two bridges where the tracks come apart and go back together. These guys don't move anymore. Computer's very upset with Tolbrand. It's getting to the point where Tolbrand is too large for me to effectively, like, do anything with. I can build on it, but that's it. At some point we're going to do this as well. I was happy when we got this all sorted out. And this... I can't remember if I was going to make this part of the Lionhead turn or not. I don't know. It means the line had turned would have to go across the bridge. I genuinely don't know if that's a good idea. I didn't include it in my notes. And what the line had turned is supposed to do. I wish I sort of knew a square mileage to carload output of grain. That would be an interesting metric, and it would help me define what Pan Am is going to be producing every day. I wonder if someone can figure that out. I wonder if somebody has figured that out, actually. I wonder if I could figure that out. Mostly by Googling and seeing if someone else had figured it out. This is where I gave up on this. I don't remember what I was going to do here with... Oh, right, I didn't finish the terrain on this tile. Could I do that in 10 minutes? I haven't done terrain in a hot minute. I'll tell you that some elevators shipping 50 to over 200 cars, which is a really good metric. I just need to know, like, what, like, from the area from which that grain was coming. Because I can make an estimate of the area my grain is coming from. I need ratios, I need numbers, I need something I can put into a spreadsheet, and then variables and etc. It seems like I'm sure someone has made this calculation, but it's probably not the kind of thing that people think about very often. Because the silos, they produce what they produce. I mean, somebody probably did the math so they could get numbers on, like, changing of times and etc. You know, it's like, oh, this much, in this year, this many square miles of farm area produced this many carloads of grain, or at least even this number of tons. I mean, that's really what I need to know, is just how much, any sort of metric of how much grain, or, you know, produce or something, you know, of, not produce like fruit, but you know what I mean. Food stuffs, that a given area of land can produce. Even if we even if we lowball it, like, I'll ask my farmer friend on top of this. Okay. Alright, so we're immediately creating hills that are much larger than what I had kind of wanted to create. Although this way is, like, towards Appleton, so... yeah. Okay. Let's just do some copy-pasting to round out the day. Oh, I forgot it does that now. No, because we need to do grass. We need to do grass. You know what? I'll get the edge. I'll get the edge so that we don't have to worry about this, this tile appearing for me anymore. Or those two tiles appearing for me anymore. Son of a gun, get out of here. Go. 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 Thank you. So yeah. Probably, like, right here, and then there's going to be a field that extends into this area. That's going to be an awkward looking field. It's going to be an awkward shape. Oh, well, whatever. Then we'll have to add, you know, 1, 2, 3 more. Well, 1, 2 more, and then Pan Am proper. I feel like Pan Am, if I were to try to create lore for why it has this name, it would be some shortening of some, like, Latin phrase that means, you know, the breadbasket of the world or some crap. Like, uh, I would have to come up with the. I would be basically bacronyming my town name to try and fit it into some foreign language, or maybe I could just pull a Harry Potter and just make the language up. Uh, that seems reasonable. I could do that. And by a Harry Potter, why I credit it to Harry Potter and not J.R.R. Tolkien, who genuinely made up languages, is because when I say make up languages, I mean not like try to figure them out, just make up words, you know. All right, what's gonna go right here? What color? Let's do this one. Oh, whoops, hold on. Because we can do this at least while we wait for the end of the episode. And I just did the thing. I just did the thing that I'm not supposed to do. That's okay. This is almost perfectly aligned with the track there, with the edge of the field. I should have announced that I was going to do like some sort of mod crash course. I mean, I did write up my tips and tricks, so there's that. But trucks 300 bushels or more 3-4 times a day from just one farmer. 22 hoppers to a box car. Yeah, I'm that's I feel like that's missing an important piece of information. Damn. I'm sure someone has done a study on this. Someone has to have done a study on this. There has to be a number. Um, Actually, you know what? I'm going to Google it. Tons of grain per acre of... Oh, you know what? Tons of barley per acre. Just comes up. 1.4 tons of barley per acre. 4.14 tons of corn per an acre. 0.99 tons of oats per an acre. So I can just... If I'm going to lowball it, I'll say 1 ton per acre. And... acres to square miles. An acre is like... Oh, you know what? An acre is 600 and... Oh, sorry, a square mile is 640 acres. So every square mile has 640 tons of produce, of output. Discussion of an obscure railroad topic. No, I'm trying to do math. It's more of a farming topic than a railroad topic, unfortunately. But we're talking six. Let me go to Excel then. Yeah, we're talking 640. Way ahead of you, buddy. 640 tons of food output for a square mile of farmland. Now, how many tons? This is the obscure piece maybe of railroad knowledge. How many tons of food, tons of grain perhaps, can a 2-bay covered hopper hold, because that would give me my conversion. I mean, I'm not going to go by locomotion numbers. I feel like they lowball it. And I feel like this is something that people would just know. Like, you guys would be able to know this because this is just a piece of railroad trivia, basically. The Terminus podcast is founded on railroad trivia. For a moment of math, I have a good idea. Alright, Godspeed. We're gonna wrap up in like 10 minutes, so go, go, go. Probably less than that. I'm still gonna do the OpenTTD bit, which I will show off momentarily. I just want to delineate the edge of this farm properly. So, just going to mark the edge of this as smoothly as I can. I really wish I could do terrain tracks, but for paint. Like, I could mark a straight line. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, never mind. It was not Gloria asking to get picked up. It was Gloria saying, I miss you. And you know what? I miss them too. Okay. So, there. Yeah, it's a straight-ish line. Not a straight line, but it's a straight-ish line. There we go. $140,000 to 155, so 77.5 tons of grain per hopper. So that means, let me grab my calculator. 1 square mile, being 640 acres, 640 divided by 77.5 is 8 hoppers per square mile. That's a lot of hoppers. I'm gonna have to do some math. Some like area under the curve calculus crap, because the only time I've used calculus since graduating school is to do things that have nothing to do with my profession. But I'm gonna have to do that in order to figure out the square mileage of the area that we're working in, and then square miles. Every square mile is, what did I say? 8 hoppers. 8.25. We'll just call it 8. We'll make things a little bit more sane. But we could be talking 100-car grain train out of Pan Am. And where's it even gonna go? I don't even think I fully understand the next step in that process. I have some research to do. Yeah, no kidding. I mean, for it to be 100 cars of grain, we're talking 12 square miles? It's probably not going to be 100 cars at once. No, that's completely true. That's completely true. And in fairness, this is supposed to be set in the summer, so it wouldn't, it's not harvest time. But I'm trying to hit a modicum of like, sorry, what I'm trying to say is the goal here is to have all industries basically producing at their maximum on this day, because let's face it, I already have it set up unrealistically, where the industries are all accepting cargo today. Every 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 industry is either taking a car out or putting a car in, and that isn't realistic on its face. It's not realistic. You could have a cardboard box manufacturer that sends boxes to everything on the railroad, but they're only going to get served, or they're not going to be sending a carload to every industry every single day. They're going to send one to this on one day, and this on the next day, and this one on the next day, and this one on the next day. You're never going to have a train of 7 cars coming out of there that are going to all of the other places in town. It just doesn't work like that. That's not how railroads work. So, unlike what tycoon games have taught you, not everything is accepting all the time. And which is a perfect segue into talking about our sponsor, NordVPN. Into talking about OpenTTD. So, let me just double check on this. Let me double check on this. Somebody pinged me. Here's the video. Oh, thank you. So I need to go to my OpenTTD modded folder, which is on my thumb drive. Start it up. And I'm afraid that this is going to get confused with me. Hang on. Where's OpenTTD? There it is. Turn off Trainz. Ah, yeah, there we go. Oh. Hold on. Nope. It's just doing it full screen now. No, I want it to be smaller than full screen. Is that the right size? I feel like I'm missing something. No, not even close. Shrink it. And then make it shorter. I had this set up. And now it doesn't want to do it. Okay. We'll call that good. Right? It looks good. Also this, okay. Oh, Trainz has finally closed. Let me show you guys something. Move this out of the way. Yeah, 10 to 15 hoppers probably isn't a lot of stuff, yeah. So, here's my all-ahead slow save. Let me show you this network here. This is I have almost everything connected on this map, but this is my most intricate network. Notice I have $7 million. This station handles, let's check the ratings. It handles all of these commodities and uses 2 platforms. This third platform does not get used. The cement is a big thing. Wait, why is this? Oh, the cement has to be picked up by the horse carts, which they'll do it eventually. The cement's just gonna sit there. I probably could do something else with that. But these trains, if you'll notice, they have a lot of stuff on them. They aren't full. They have a lot of stuff on them. These are carrying plastics, limestone, alloy steel. This one's carrying sand, aluminum, engineering supplies, quicklime, manganese. And those aren't all coming from here. The quicklime is coming from here. There are trains that are delivering limestone over here, it's getting turned into quicklime, and it's getting brought back to here, and then put on another train that's going out this way. And these trains, they go to Monroe Woods, delivers the limestone, not the iron ore, because limestone is going 2 places out of here. This train is bringing in more limestone and iron ore from far away. Again, a mixed train. And it's not even full. Well, it is. It's full on iron ore. Um, and these trains are coming here. They're dropping the stuff off. They pick up the pig iron. They pick up the cast iron. They pick up the slag. Well, they can't, actually. They're getting overloaded. I'm going to need either another train or something. They go over here. They drop off the pig iron for this. They drop off the cast iron for this. They drop off the slag for this train, which takes it up the hill. And then it brings down cement. And the cement gets put into these trains, gets brought back here. And then the cement gets put into these carts. And these carts will slowly take the cement to here. Now I'm going to need more of them because the cement thing's actually working. I didn't expect it to go this well. Somebody I think just joined the stream and they're going to be like, why are you playing OpenTDD? I'm just showing some stuff off. But point is, you can get away with all this crap. These guys are carrying a lot of different things and it's working flawlessly. Ish. Cement pile up aside. I have one ship that is taking limestone from 2 places which are connected with a very large station. These are both the same station. When I control clicked, it allowed me to make them the same because they're closer than 12 tiles. And so these trains are handling all this. I mean, it's like 10 trains doing this, which is a lot, really. But they're all making money, even if they aren't running necessarily at full. And how are they doing this? Well, there's a couple of commands that are really helping here. One of them is the refit at station to available cargo. So, you'll notice like this order. Go nonstop to Monroe Woods, which is here. Unload by cargo type, and load by cargo type with a refit to available cargo. So, what it's saying is, you can unload by cargo type. Nothing else gets unloaded here except for the limestone for the furnace, except the engineering supplies are transferred. And that's it, specifically that. The engineering supplies will sit here on the platform until this guy comes and gets them and brings them back to here, so that the iron ore mine, the Farmington iron ore mine, can continue producing at incredibly high speed, relatively speaking. Why is this guy sitting here? Because of the timetable command, which tells it to stay for 2 days. Why does it stay for 2 days? It stays for 2 days so that the stuff that you put into the furnace, you get back out, it gets put on the same train. That mattered a lot more when I had only one train doing this, and it would come here, and then it would leave immediately. And it wouldn't, like, the stuff would get produced, it would just be left on the platform. It wasn't a problem, really, but it was something. It wasn't efficient. And so you'll notice this guy should probably have slag on him. He doesn't actually have slag on him. That's interesting. But this train is slowly filling up with slag, both from here and from here. Notice that just ticked up one. This guy does not drive around very much. He waits until he fills all the way up, and then he drives up the hill. That is a long time, but you know what? It's fine. How much, it's 281 tons of cement. Holy crap, we need more. We need more of these guys. I'm gonna clone this. Go. Clone this. Go. You guys have shared orders, right? Nope. It's okay, they should still have, oh, I need to give them shared orders. Because otherwise that's going to become a problem. New quarry under construction. I guess you could take engineering supplies to it. That'd be an easy thing to do. It's on the water, so that grants you some pretty substantial opportunities. Hey, look, Allagash. it's going to create limestone and sand, which I don't really have anywhere to take them, but I can take them around. I can take them all the way up the coast if I want to, because we have the coast right here. Limestone, limestone, limestone. Sand to here. That would work. And now I'm going kind of far. That's the whole map. But quick lime could go there. Yeah, taking advantage of the slower method of this area I started to work on, I didn't quite get all nailed down, but it works. Holy Moses. Hold on. I only had one horse car for this. Clone, clone, clone. Send them all. This place is probably... It's very good still. It's very good, even though there's 600 tons of quicklime here, and there's about to be more. I made a note for myself. But one of the really impressive things there is this ship setup. Because we have 2 coal mines here. This one's producing a lot, this one's producing a little. We don't have engineering supplies for them, but I suppose we could get some if we really wanted. There's a couple places where we could get them. Not too many right nearby, but you know. But this place is loading coal. And where are these ships going? Well, they're going from here, through a canal, through this entire lake, through another canal, and then through this entire lake, all the way to this coke oven. This coke oven is producing 315 tons of coke a month now. It's being supplied by 3 different coal mines. The soot from this is being, or the coal tar is being brought to the soot furnace. That's all. It's just, that's what's happening. But then I have one train that's doing more things. This is refitting with coke. Then it's driving all the way to here nonstop. Then it is dropping off that coke and making pig iron and slag and cast iron. It's picking up the available cargo, which is pig iron and slag. Remember that you need to take a vehicle with specifically that cargo type to get a station to start accepting it from the industry, or to get the industry to start putting it in the station. So I had to run 2 cycles of this train, one with a refit to pig iron and one with a refit to slag, specifically. You can cheese it by just using a road vehicle. I tried doing that. It does work. By just using a road vehicle, just, you know, send him here, have him wait for a second, and then it might take a second for it to really recognize it, but it should set the industry on the road to recognizing, yes, this commodity can be picked up here. So yeah, then it takes the slag to here. Why are all my stations 5 tiles? I really don't know. That's just how long they are. It takes the pig iron to here, which the manganese is also being supplied by ship from the bulk terminal here. And then this stuff isn't going anywhere because I haven't decided what to do with it yet. And then it comes back here and refits. So I have a train doing the job of at least 3 trains. And that is sort of a low number. Because I have my train over here that does the job of 2 trains. Goes back and forth, you know. I have this that does the job of only 1 train, which is disappointing. But at least this place is producing stuff. And it's producing a pitiful amount. So that's fine, actually. If you'll notice, I used horse carts over... not there. Here. Nope, not here. Although I was using horse carts there. Here, to get the secondary product out, it's making 10,000 gallons of coal tar. These carry 2,000 gallons of coal tar. So this produces 10,000 a month. These guys handle 2K a piece, which is more than enough to keep, they make a handsome profit. They make a, it's not mind-boggling. It's $1,000 a year, but it's something, it pays for itself at least. It makes a profit. And the roads, I mean, the roads cost nothing. If we look at details, we're looking at, like, canals are costing me $2,000 a year. That's not a lot. Station tiles are costing me $69,000 a year. The rough dirt road is costing me less than the canals are, and I have almost 450 tiles of it. Don't overbuild. That's all I can say. Look at the operating profit graph, and I'm just going up. Look at the income graph, also the same thing. Delivered cargo. Yeah, I mean, these all pretty much look the same. Company value graph just looks like an exponential curve. That's cool. Performance history. I've leveled off. Oh no. Whatever will I do? Yeah, I don't have minimum profit at all. I'm not there. I avoided overbuilding in the last game by not building any infrastructure. Exactly. Anyway. So yeah, this is what I've learned so far. The other thing that I'd like to show off is not that. It's also towards the top of the map though. It's over here. This guy. This is my profitable passenger train. He makes a handsome profit, about 52,000 a year. He has a feeder system consisting of one streetcar here, which takes things from over here to over here, which is merged with that, and a feeder system on this end, which consists of two streetcars doing more or less the same thing. You'll notice that it's not even close to full, but it is still making money. You'll also notice that if we were to watch it arrive, it sits at the station for a while. Why is that? Because it's timetabled to stay for 4 days. If it only stayed for 1 day, this train would be bankrupt. It would be like my other passenger train, which does not make money. It was a test before I noticed these two places. But, compare that to, let's go with a relatively simple one. No, not this one. So that's been augmented. Where's the little... Nope, not you. I mean, that is a successful little thing, but that's not a train. Here. You. See you. You make 1,000 a year. It's not a lot. So the passenger's making plenty. This is because this is short and because it's just a coal mine, but it is making money. And speeding it up would not make it make any more money. It would, in fact, make less. So, waiting for full load, waiting for a while at stations, it pays. It's good. It helps. Can recommend. Anyway, thanks for watching this episode of Under Construction. I'm probably going to go hop in the Discord for a little while and play some of this and dispel some wisdom. Or dispense. Spell. You know what I meant. I'll see you next week. This is the Admiral, signing off.